guys, back at it again. All right, this time we are messing with 2019 Toyota Camry, and the problem with this is the actual wheel hub. So as you guys can actually see, look at that. The customer hit something, I guess a sidewalk or something, and curved it real bad, and which messed up the wheel hub. So we're gonna go ahead and start changing that out. First of all, we're gonna start by removing this brakes, brake caliper, and the actual where it sits on. So I forgot the name. Anyways, we're gonna remove this whole piece right here, which it's this bolt to remove the caliper itself, and this one right here. So this is a 17, I believe, yeah, 17 mil. This will be 14 mil. All right, so 14 mil and 17 mil for this one and the one right below it. All right, so you're gonna have two screws holding the brake caliper on here. All right, and you're gonna have these two bolts as well holding the whole bracket. That's what it is. All right, let me go ahead and remove that. All right, after you break these loose, 14, 17 mil, and you're actually able to remove them. So I already took the bottom one off, this one, and then there's the bottom one right here. All right, right here. So took that one off, and go ahead and remove the caliper. And what I use a little hook just to kind of set it here in place and just let it hang and not pull on the actual hose. You don't want to damage it. All right, so, and then as you can see, these pads need replacing, so we're going to go ahead and replace them. Here it is. Here it is. I already took them off. It's got a little spacer in the back. And then you remove your 17 mil, which is this one and the one right here. All right, so you remove these. Go ahead and remove them. Once you take these off, then just set it off to the side. You're gonna need it later, obviously. Okay, and now in order to remove your rotor, which this one's getting replaced due to it being damaged, see, as you guys can see right there. So we're gonna go ahead and replace it while we're at it, and you're gonna need a 30 mil 12 point. All right, see, there's a 6 point, there's a 12 point, this is a 12 point. All right, that's the only way you're actually gonna get that off. All right, so let's go ahead and break this. All right, guys, so usually you don't pull this off this way, but the actual bearing was so bad that, look at that, you see, it just came off. That's crazy. Usually you have to kind of beat on the actual rotor itself to be able to get it out around. Tap it, tap it, tap it, it'll come off. But not this case. Look at that. That is bad. All right, so let's go ahead and see, we're not going to use any of this anymore. We're replacing it. So set it off to the side, and let's go ahead and we're going to remove the actual wheel hub now. And in order to do that, we have access to the bolts now, so it's a lot easier. The same thing, 17 mils. All right, as you guys can see, you're gonna have 3 of them. Just 1, 2, 1 up here. If you guys can see, yeah, 1 up there, and the other one in here. All right, so it'll be fun getting, actually 4, and then this other one down here. All right, right there at the bottom. All right, as you guys can see on the front side, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and remove those 17 mil bolts. Also, make sure you take off this sensor. All right, you don't want to get it damaged. Go ahead and take it off. That actually should be the first thing you take off, and I'll put it right before you start taking off the wheel hub. But yeah, just take it off so you won't damage it. You don't want to damage that sensor, then you're gonna have to replace it. Luckily, I didn't damage it. I just pulled that off and I didn't hit or anything. So see, I'm just gonna clean it all up and make sure that it's nice and clean, because you don't want, once it starts getting like metal on there, then it'll start reading incorrect. So make sure I'm gonna clean it all up, and hopefully it works, because I know whenever this wheel hub was like bouncing around like that, that it could have damaged it. See, I could tell right here a bit, but hopefully it didn't damage it, and hopefully it works. It doesn't throw code, so we'll see once we get to installing it again. All right, there it is. Bolts are out. Now let's take this off so you guys can see. All the little bearings are falling off. So look at that, that's how bad it was. Really, really bad. So that's out. Let me just need to get this off. It's not going to come off. I'll have to pry on it a little bit. So there it is. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and apply grease in here. All right, we'll put some in here. You know, just keep it lubricated and stuff. All right. There it is. It says like 4 spots on here, which is top, bottom, side. All right, so I just kind of smeared it all around. Okay, there it is. Clean all the excess off. Okay, there it is. Let's go ahead and set the hub in, which I have here. Okay, and there's only one way of putting it. All right, so you got the closer ones up here, the ones further apart down at the bottom. So that's how you're gonna set it. Go out this way. Make sure you don't forget to install your shield, which is this one right here. All right, so it's gonna go on this way. There it is. It's in. Gonna line it up. Let me get the bolts. It's actually not ready right there. There it is, and I'm actually gonna use some blue Loctite on the bolts just to be on the safe side. I don't want these things backing out. I'm sure you guys don't either, so make sure I put some Loctite on there. All right, once you got the bolts in there, make sure you torque each one of these bolts in a cross pattern to 89 foot-pounds. All right, let me go ahead and knock that out. All right, at this point, let's get ready to install this rotor. All right, we're ready to install it. What I like to do, I like to put just a little bit of anti-seize on that axle, the axle threads, just so it can go on nice and smooth. You don't want it to cross thread or damage it, you know. That's a very expensive part to replace. So go ahead and just put a little bit of anti-seize on that thing. All right, go ahead and mount up the rotor. There you go. Okay. Go ahead and mount up your rotor, and then go ahead and put the bracket on. Also make sure you lube up. Put some anti-seize on it, because you don't want that to come off either. All right, so it's gonna go on like this. Here's the bolts. There's the hardwood for it. Make sure everything fits on it right. Don't force anything. You're going to cross threading it, so. Okay, it's on there. So nothing rubs, everything fits perfect. Sweet deal. All right, and let's go ahead and make sure you always put a new nut on here. All right, so let me go ahead and put that nut, and it's gonna go torque down to 217 foot-pounds, and so make sure you torque it with a 30 mil socket. Go ahead and knock that out. All right, after you torque it down, and also in order to torque it down, someone's gonna have to hold the brakes. After they do that, then you're actually gonna stake the actual nut right there. All right, which means just puncture it so you can have a flat surface and it won't back out. All right, so let me go ahead and do that. Now make sure you install your speed sensor at 75 inch-pounds, the little 10 mil bolt. I mean, that's all it is. You can just do it, you know, hand tight, but make sure it's clean and it has no metal parts in there or anything, you know, or not, it's gonna throw it off. All right, let's go ahead and torque these two bolts, this one and this one, to 79 foot-pounds, and those are the ones that go to the bracket and the knuckle. Okay, so right here, what I'm doing, I actually swapped out all the little metal clips. All right, make sure you lube them up on the back side and the front side, well, on top and the bottom, where they make contact to the actual bracket and contact to the actual pad, because you don't want them squeaking or making little weird noises. All right, so that's what I'm doing now, as you guys can see. All right, the pads as well, lube them up a little bit, just light coat of grease. That's all it needs. You don't need to go all crazy and everything with it, because you don't want it to get on the rotor. Sure, before you install it, you push in the piston, all right, to be able to put it over the new pads. This is actually how I do it, like this. Real easy. All right, with this little tool, I'll use one of the old pads, put it against the cylinder and set this in place, and then just tighten it up and squeeze it in nice and slow. You don't have to do it so fast, you know, just let the fluid flow slowly. All right, so push it all the way in up until it clears, and then go ahead and install it. All right, there it goes. I installed it already. I'm putting on the bolts, top and bottom, which these are going to go torque to 25 foot-pounds. All right, sometimes you have to hold back up, see, on there, but other times you don't. Usually when you're installing it, you don't. This is a fairly new car, so go ahead and torque it. All right, guys, so that is done. We are completed with this. I'm gonna go ahead and install the tire. So that's that right there. That's how you replace the hub on a 2019 Toyota Camry. All right, hope this helped out. Catch you guys on the next one.